Lisa had finally finished their project for the school science fair, a full-size talking robot. By using their imagination, and with the help of several experts, they combined their artistic and mechanical abilities to make a robot they thought would be just right for the fair. Despite having an accident which smashed the robot's legs, Alan and Lisa were able to get everything done on Tuesday, the day before the fair began. They were proud of their bio-vitamin robot because it would talk about health and move its arm up and down with food in its hand. Now all they had to do was make up questions for the robot to answer at the fair. They agreed that Alan would ask the robot questions. Then Lisa, from behind the robot, would turn on the tape recorder for the answer and raise the right arm. Alan insisted that they rehearse the whole routine so there wouldn't be any mistakes. After studying Lisa's health book, Alan made up a question. "Mr. Bio-Robot, what food is good for my eyes and skin?" Quickly, Lisa lit the flashlight behind the hole marked vitamin A. Then, grabbing the health book, she gave the answer. Vitamin A prevents night blindness and dry skin. It also helps us grow. It is found in leafy green vegetables, carrots, and eggs. Running to the refrigerator, Lisa brought out a carrot and put it in the robot's hand. "Cut!" Alan stopped the show. "This isn't going to work at all until we can record the answers on the tape recorder and get all the vitamin foods collected. Then we can tell how all this is going to work." Alan then began recording his first speech through a short mailing tube into the recorder microphone. "I am Mr. Bio-Robot, ready to help you stay healthy. Do as I say, and you will become super people." After they had recorded all the answers, they played them back one at a time as Lisa would drop a carrot or an egg or an orange into the arm. Now Alan and Lisa felt that their science fair entry was ready to take to school. They were very proud of how it looked and how it worked. Next morning, after Lisa arrived at Alan's house, they carried the robot into the garage. Looking around, they wondered how they were going to get it to school. Alan thought of putting the robot on his bicycle so that it could ride in front of him. But one of the legs was knocked loose and fell off. They had to give up that idea. Lisa found some plastic sheeting. Couldn't they carry the robot on this? Spreading the plastic on the floor, they gently placed the robot in the middle of the sheet. On the way to school, they watched every step they took. When they arrived, the robot became the center of attention as students wanted to know what it was. Did Alan and Lisa make it? What did the butterfly do? Lisa and Alan moved on and wouldn't answer the questions. They didn't want their show spoiled by saying too much. Inside the school building, Lisa and Alan carried the robot into one of the rooms where the science fair was to be held. They saw all kinds of exhibits. Rockets, mobiles, everything you could think of. Placing the robot on the floor, Alan and Lisa checked in with Mrs. Baker, letting her know that they had completed their project. She showed them a spot in the room where they could demonstrate their robot. Together they stood the robot upright, straightened the antenna and arms. Then Lisa placed a sign at its feet. Their teacher was pleased with the robot and complimented Alan and Lisa on their good work. Boy, did this make them feel good. Then she told them that the demonstrations would begin at 11 o'clock. Would everything be ready to go? Alan and Lisa stopped to think. Had they forgotten anything? They had forgotten the props. The tape recorder, the fruit, the question list. All they'd thought about was getting the robot to school. What time was it? 15 minutes before the demonstrations would begin. Alan said he would run home and get the props. "And don't forget the tapes," Lisa called after him, "and the flashlight." Luckily, Alan didn't live too far from school, and he got back to his house in only a few minutes. Quickly, he gathered up the items he needed for the show: a carrot, a hard-boiled egg, an orange, an apple, some walnuts, the tape recorder, and the tape they had made for the robot's voice. The thought flashed into Alan's mind that he should check the tape and see how it worked. When he heard the hollow-sounding voice, "I am Mr. Bio-Robot, ready to help you stay healthy," Alan felt good that the recorder was working right. Now, had he forgotten anything else? The flashlight and the list of questions. He better check the flashlight, too. It was okay. Now, back to school. He'd have to run to make it on time. It was after 11 o'clock when he got to school. When he explained to his teacher why he was late, she understood. She appreciated how hard Alan and Lisa had worked on their project. Excitedly, Alan and Lisa waited their turn in the demonstration. They were number 3 on the program. Alan nervously checked the question list and the props. They were all in order, just where Lisa had put them. She was really a good partner to work with. He knew he could depend on her to follow through. When number 3 was called, Alan stood up, hesitant at first, then started his speech. "Ladies and gentlemen." The more he talked, the more confident he became, especially when he saw how interested the audience was in their demonstration. "Mr. Bio-Robot, my first question is, what food should I eat to get energy?" Alan couldn't help looking back at Lisa to see if she got the message. He felt relieved when the light came on behind the vitamin B hole. In a few seconds, the voice from the recorder began speaking. "Your energy comes from..." The voice slowed, then stopped, then started again. Alan knew the tape worked when he tested it. What was the matter now? "Vitamin B, you must eat liver, whole wheat, milk, and eggs to get this important energy." Lisa was so concerned about the tape slowing down that she almost forgot to put the egg down the robot's arm and push it up for Alan to take. When Alan stepped over to get the egg, the audience cheered and clapped. They thought the robot voice was slow on purpose, that Alan and Lisa had planned it that way. On through the rest of the questions, the tape ran slower at times, mostly when an important point was being made. The audience loved it, and this helped Alan and Lisa to forget their problems and enjoy what they were doing. This was great. At the close of the program, everyone crowded around Lisa and Alan, wanting to get a closer view of them. And the bio-vitamin robot. Mrs. Baker was very proud of what they had done and how well they had done it. After everyone was gone, Alan and Lisa looked at the robot, then at each other, and laughed. Despite all their problems, their differences, they'd successfully completed and demonstrated a talking bio-robot, something they had dreamed up together. Lisa remembered how it had taken them several days to agree on something unusual to do for the fair. That hadn't been easy. And Alan thought of how Dr. Fredericks had given them such important ideas about what the robot would look like or do, and how the radio repairman showed them that they could use a tape recorder for the voice, and all the time they had spent at the library. If it hadn't been for the dryer tubing arms Lisa added, and the mailing tube legs, the robot wouldn't have looked so great. Then she giggled, remembering how silly Alan looked when they decided to make a bio-vitamin robot. One that could talk and hold up eggs and oranges. All this made Alan and Lisa feel very good about what they had done. They were ready now to handle bigger and better things, because they had done their project just right.